since your first election in 2005 as a president until today, could you sum up the main aspects of the situation you found, the evolution of Eurocadres, which are the steps, the activities that have been undertaken, and what is, according to your opinion, the situation you leave Eurocadres to your successor, the next president of Eurocadres, who will be elected during the next Congress on the 28th, 29th of November this year?
Shortly, in 2005, the idea of Europe was much better than today. Already in 2005, there were the referendum in France and in Netherlands that blocked the political process of Europe, but despite that, the hope of European people and European organizations was for an improvement of Europe. That was strongly connected to the history of Eurocadre, because our birth is in some way a consequence of the Maastricht Treaty and of establishment in Europe of a framework for a European framework of social dialogue. But the idea of the Maastricht Treaty was not only the single currency, was not only the social dialogue, but was an increasing of unification of the European Union with a single army, with a single politics towards abroad, finally, to put beside the economic and monetary, and for us, and social Europe, beside that, and finally, a political union. In that moment, the process was already broken, but probably we were not aware of that. So in that moment, our hope was stronger than now. But as I said, we have always to think to what could improve and reopen the situation. The history is never closed. I think, for instance, that next year the election of the European Parliament, as it is written in our document for the Congress and in our position on the European election of 2014, could reopen this history, giving a space for a European democracy, for citizens having more role, more space in the decision of the European Union.
So, Carlo Parietti, as a person as well as a president, could you recall, now you have built a little bit the history of Eurocadres within these 8 years, but could you recall really the expectation you had when you first were elected in 2005, and do they really match the reality you found? Can you say that in 2013?
My feeling immediately after I started was surprised. I was surprised of the break between what we were doing at European level and awareness of that at national level. So activities on European social dialogue, for instance, that were not known at national level, not known at employees. The point was to fill in that lack of knowledge and of continuity between the national and European and national activity. In some way, we were successful, but the point is that especially in the last 3-4 years, the European social dialogue has become a bit less effective than at the beginning. And unfortunately, that the crisis made the national trade unions more worrying about their national situation than open to work for more Europe.
What are the view forward for Eurocadres? What do you think that could make a strength out of it, out of the financial crisis, with the effect it has had on the whole European trade union movement and the national trade unions and affiliates of Eurocadres?
And of the capacity of Europe and of USA to produce once again innovation and to be competitive and to have competitive economies. I think that we tried to say that to the general trade union movement and to the Europe. We weren't always successful, also because the crisis has been, is so harsh that is even difficult to reason beyond the immediate effects of the crisis. But the point is if we speak of innovation, we speak of competitiveness, the role of professionals and managers can be especially important. So theoretically, if we have been able and if we will be able, there is a special space for Eurocadre also in drawing the way, drafting the way for overcoming the crisis. Our role is to give a role to professionals and managers.
Thank you. Wish you fruitful discussions at the Congress, taking as basis your views on professionals and managers, the views you left as on professionals and managers in Europe.
Thanks to you.